Hey, beautiful kingdom people. So I am back for part 3 of God's perfect will versus God's submissive will. So when we're talking about learning what's in our heart, what is it that our heart is desiring? What is it that we're praying for and asking for? We have to know the motive behind those things. So if we're praying for wealth and riches and money, finances, are we wanting those because we just want to get rich and want to, not have to worry about paying bills again and want to make sure all of our needs are met and wanting to splurge and buy this big fancy car and this big mansion or whatever the case is? Or are we wanting those finances to do the things that God has called us to do, to start that program that will feed the community, that will pour into others, that will build up others, that will build up the community, the things that God has placed on our hearts to do? When we begin to align our will with God's will for us, when we begin to want the things that He wants for us, and we begin to say yes to God's perfect will, then our desires will begin to align with His desires for us. Our hearts will align with His heart. And so when He grants us those desires of our hearts, after that alignment, after that submission to His perfect will, then we'll begin to see those perfect things that He have ordained for our lives begin to manifest and unfold for us. We'll begin to walk into that greatness that He has in store for us. So when we're submitting to our own will, or we allowing God to submit to our will, so this is God's submissive will for us, then those finances that He may bless us with, we may not know what to do with them. They may crumble and fumble between our hands because we weren't prepared for them, because we didn't store them right, because we didn't do the things that God has called us to do with them. So that $1 million that God could be blessing you with because you asked for it, it could fade just like that. And then you're left in debt again. Then you're left, owing taxes or whatever the case is because you did not steward it right, because your heart, your motives of your heart, because the treasures of your heart was not aligned with God's perfect will. If we're able to learn this, able to learn how to fully align our wills with His, how to fully say yes and to submit to God's perfect will, this is the key. We are able to obtain the keys to the kingdom, the keys to God's promises for our lives, the keys to greatness. So I'm just going to continue to challenge you all to just say yes to God's perfect will. Say, Lord, I submit to your perfect will. Now, can you begin to reveal those things for me that you have in store? Be blessed.